This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is a Monday, January 11th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so we had a pretty phenomenal week last week, and looking to carry that in, obviously, to this week. We got a few things going on out there, but also a little bit of just kind of floating around. So let's talk about what we're going to have on our list for this morning. First thing we're going to be looking at is Riot. So Mara and Riot are pretty much following each other almost exactly, but I know Riot is shortable, and a lot of people are going to have some issues trying to be able to get Mara shares. We're going to go over Riot, and it's basically just going to kind of follow, even though Mara's prints aren't even as good as Riot. But we had some really nice bid prints that came in at 22, if it lets me goes back, which it does. But the thing about these 22 prints, so you can see they happen right about 8:30, and we did pull up, but only about 50 cents. And with the amount of range that we've been seeing coming into this, I just really wasn't sold on it until we came in and we saw some of these off-level bid prints that are coming back down. But we just came to 21.50, and we can see we have some more bid prints that came in, and even more just now at 21. So 22, 22, 21.50, and 21 all have absolutely phenomenal bid prints in comparison to what the actual print personality here is. So overall, I mean, really from what we just saw there coming down to 20 level, if it pushed there, would I be shocked? Not really, but we're going to need to see a pretty substantial pullback coming in. It just basically got overloaded with selling. That's kind of getting away from there, but I really would like to see it at least pull back up to that 21.50. But like I said, having the 20 level right underneath, I would not be shocked if it went back there first, but I'm going to have to follow the rules and make sure that we get that pull up first before we're going to be looking for that short to the downside. BNGO, so not as happy as I was before with this. As we're coming up, we got some really nice ask prints that came in at that 6 level. Came back and we went right back up, but we didn't even get a push to 650. And based off the ask prints that we saw, I would have expected it to get a little bit higher up there. One of the problems that I did see, though, and it's not going to let me go back, is as we were coming back down to the 6 level, we just saw a huge amount of selling. So I would be a little bit weary of the fact of them pushing the stock up like this to basically be able to get out of a lot of the positions that they've been in. Even though it jumped up overnight, same type of deal, giving some people hope to then kind of slam them, because the amount of selling that came in compared to the amount of buying at 6, there's just way more selling that came in there. So just be careful as you're watching it there. But a trigger back up towards the 6 level, we need to see some type of better buying coming in down here. We just really, I mean, 593 is okay, but in comparison, you can see just big time selling, starting to come in ever since we got that move up towards the 640. Next thing, HAP, H-A-P-P. So this is another one, beautiful buying that came in. You could see earlier this morning, just huge volume pushing all the way up. We had some ass that came in at 250. I mean, it's okay. But then as obviously after our pullback, we're coming back up towards that area. And looking at the 250, it's just, again, I'm not really that sold in the amount of buying that I'm seeing coming back into this, because we're just getting huge amount of sell prints after a push back towards the upside, which a lot of times tells us they're trying to get out, because we see those pushes and then we get these huge sell-offs. So they're really not caring how much that they show once they're selling off of it, but they're using little amounts of shares to push it back up. So same type of deal. Just be very careful of taking a trigger back to the upside. Make sure that you have other variables coming in to add to the percentage, because the prints and trigger just are not going to be enough right now. CBAT, C-B-A-T, now that is ugly. Looked a lot prettier right before we started our meeting. All right, but we come back in. I mean, you can see right here, 742, really love these prints that just came in there. We did have prints that came in as I saw at 8. It's not going to let me go all the way back. Wait, it should let me go all the way back. Could have sworn, yeah. So we have a couple prints that came in at that 8 level, but remember, it was completely parabolic. So the fact that it even kind of got anything off and then a follow-up of that 810 afterwards to go up there definitely shows that there is some interest. And then obviously the 742 is long but short term, so we have to expect the pullback from there. But I trigger back towards these 742 prints, absolutely no problem whatsoever having that little bit of buying up at the 8. Then LMFA, another one where got some really nice buying underneath that 3 level. It was like 294. And then as we were coming back up, I believe it was like 313, just another huge amount. We ended up pulling back from it. But right here, you can see we're refreshing on the ask. as we were just coming in. Let's see what's going on with 322. Do they refresh? Do they refresh? Do they refresh? Yes, they do. So at 322, we now have refreshing on the ask as well. So going to be expecting a little bit of a pullback from there, but definitely the ability to get back up towards where it was pushing in the aftermarket on Friday. So there definitely is. The only problem with that is now I have no problem taking a trade off refreshing, but I just wish that we had some better buying from this morning back up near those highs, which unfortunately we don't, but that refreshing was no joke whatsoever. We saw that, it come right in. They added to their order as they were executing it. Absolutely everything that we want to see as, for refreshing. So overall, we got some good stuff that's going on out there. Definitely some things, showing some pretty decent moves. But other than that, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. Anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there that I missed? GovX, let's see. Yes, obviously. Okay, I was going to say, well, how the hell did I not see this? But it started right after we started our meeting. Let's take a look at what it gave us. So 625, nice prints there. 650. This is interesting because nothing at 650, but beautiful prints up above there that show shorter term, which obviously going and moving on that shorter term level. And then we have a few ask prints at 7. So really what we're going to need in a stock like this is a pullback and then a trigger back up towards the prints. Right now, chasing it, you'd be absolutely crazy. Especially, after it just moved $3.50. So just make sure, no, not chasing. You get your ask print, you get your pullback, and then you take your number 4 trade. Absolutely, GOVX. All right, guys, so let's get ready for our morning. I will talk to everybody in the chat, and happy trading.